our illustrious president, who will take it from here.
We're normally a very informal bunch of people. And we like to practice speaking. We practice leadership. We'll practice with microphones if we need to. If somebody has a event coming up, we'll practice with a microphone. We'll practice in front of video. We just like to practice. To get better at speaking. I joined about 2.5 years ago. I didn't join to become a better speaker. I have social phobia and I have a hard time.
Did you put it in the agenda? No.
What better way to start to get overcome social phobia than to speak in front of people and stand there and have all this attention. When the endorphins flow, I shake, and I'm shaking now. So I hate being in front of people, yet I do it. Our keynote speaker is our mayor. He's been the mayor of Pocatello. This is his 3rd term. And I'll tell you, I think that's pretty impressive. Because I have lived in Pocatello most of my life. I live in Lincoln now. And most mayors are one-term mayors. To go 3 terms is quite impressive. He's a small business owner, an insulation expert. He's very active in our community, and he has his own TV show on public access. I presumed, and I found out I was wrong, that as mayor he loves to speak in front of people, but he really doesn't. But he does it as part of his job. It's important. He's going to speak to us today about the economic development of Pocatello and the importance that communication plays in that role. Introduce our mayor, Blad.
Well, thank you very much. What an honor it is for me to be able to speak to you tonight. Thank you for having me and allowing me to come and say a few words. Today is Bengal Wednesday. And I'm looking out in the crowd and I am really sorry, but you have failed it. On Bengal Wednesday. You're pretty close though back there. You're all right. I'm going to call that as orange as we can get in the room next to my tie. My rugby tie. But Bengal Wednesday, what a great day that is. I've been asked to speak on a number of things, a lot of really neat things. But one of my favorite things is economic development. The other favorite thing is Idaho State University. And Idaho State University has kind of been looked at as kind of a, I don't know, through the state, it's one of those, oh, it's just Idaho State University. So I thought I would tell you a little bit about Idaho State University before I really get into my speech a little bit. I think I've got in fact, I should put this down. I've got about 20 minutes, right? I want to stay on time.
Tara's our timer. She can time it.
You got it.
Want to?
Yeah.
All right.
Heavens, yes. We can do that, or I can just put my watch right here.
The green one in 20 minutes then.
You're going to do what?
How about
At 18, give it a green.
18, 19, and 20.
Okay, perfect. 18 minutes, that means I'll have 2 minutes to wrap
19,
it
I'll
up.
put this up.
Okay,
And 20, I'll put.
the red. Perfect, I like it.
All right.
Sounds good. So let me tell you about Idaho State University. It's one of 4,000 universities in the country. What's special about that? There's a number of communities out there that don't have one of those 4,000. So Pocatello's a pretty good spot for that. There are, anybody have any idea how many medical campuses or medical schools are a part of those 4,000?
100.
173 is all that there is. 173 medical campuses attached to those universities. Idaho State University has one of those 173. Pretty interesting there. There are, Pocatello is, national labs, there are 17 national labs in the country, 17. Pocatello shares, or Idaho State University shares a campus with one of those 17 national labs. There are 5 universities in the country that offer degrees from a certificate to a PhD. Idaho State University is one of them that offers that. One of the 5. It shares campus with the 4th best performing arts center in the country, right here in Pocatello, Idaho. If you haven't been to the Stevens Performing Arts Center, you need to go. It is very impressive. It's incredible to listen to the symphony. If not the symphony, listen to anybody get up there and recite poetry and things like that, because you have the opportunities to. It's wonderful. Idaho State University on this campus here in Pocatello offers 250 things from a certificate to a master's or a PhD. 250 different career paths that you can take at Idaho State University. It's pretty impressive when I start thinking about what we have right in Pocatello, Idaho. So why in the world would you not want to locate in Pocatello if you're a business? I've always wondered that, because Pocatello has kind of had an even flow, an ebb and flow type of a thing. And we've never had big businesses just come and stay. We've never had, it just seems like we've kind of always just been at the same level all the time. Well, in 2008, Pocatello lost about 4,000 jobs. In 2008, we lost 4,000 jobs. 4,000 people left. Unemployment rates went from about 6% to 10.7 or 8%. In 2009, I decided it was time for me to stop complaining and start putting my name on a ballot. And the reason I put my name on a ballot, not because I thought I would win, not because I wanted to speak in front of people, not because I wanted a TV show, not because of any of that stuff. What I was is I just wanted to complain. And I wanted a platform to complain on. And I accidentally won in 2009. And now, because I caught this tiger by the tail, I've got to do something with it. And I've got to, number 1, stop complaining. Number 2, I have to start doing. And I didn't think that far ahead when I did that. I realized after I took office that, hey, I needed to make a living. And so I thought, I wonder what I make. Does a mayor even make money? That's how much I thought about jumping in the middle of it. Because I wasn't going to win. I knew that. I was confident of that. So my first day on the job, that was my first question. Hey, do I get paid for this? And they said, well, yeah, but let me find out how much. And they came and told me, and I thought, and I sunk down in my seat and thought, how in the world am I going to explain this to my wife? Because I have now just taken the largest pay cut I have ever taken in my life. So I could now spend more time in front of people, more time away from my family, more time at my job. It was amazing. Probably the best thing I've ever done in my life, quite frankly. But I will tell you, it's still expensive to be the mayor. So, I think everybody should do it, but we need to get your wages up where they should be, probably. If you're ever going to be the mayor, I would recommend you do that. In fact, probably when I decide not to run again, I will probably make a proposal that the mayor's wages are increasing significantly, because it's unbelievable what that happens. But here I was now. I had the tiger by the tail. I was the guy that had to stop complaining. I was the guy that had to start doing. And I realized it hit me very, very hard one day driving down the road that I have 55,000 people. I have an unemployment rate of 10%, 10 plus percent, 10.7% I think is what the highest it got. That I was now the guy that everybody was looking at to fix. And so I decided I needed to start really seriously getting down and dirty and finding out how to fix this. I had never, ever one time recruited a business. I had never worried about that, never thought about it. And so what I ended up doing was sitting down with the team and saying, all right, what opportunities do we have? We came across this small company that was looking to make an investment somewhere in the western United States so that they could locate a call center of some sort. Now you say a call center, you think, oh, that's going to be low wages. Quite frankly and honestly, with unemployment at 10.7%, you really don't care. You just want people working. You want people to get up. There's something to be said about waking up in the morning, getting ready, going to work, regardless of what you're making. Well, this little company decided that they wanted to be in the West. Interestingly enough, talking about your ability to communicate, this is how important it was. Their number one issue that they wanted was a place where people could understand who they were talking to and what those people were saying to them. And Pocatello, Idaho gave them that opportunity. That company, a small company, is Allstate Insurance. That is it's a Fortune 50 company. Pocatello was one of 100 communities that they looked at before they made a decision. There were 100 communities. They looked at all of them. And Pocatello, they said, we're going to go look at all of them, and then we're going to cut it down to 50. And they cut it down to 50, and Pocatello was not in that 50. They were looking at it, and they went, hey, wait a minute. What happened to Pocatello, Idaho? I said, oh, I don't know. Well, I liked it. What, did you like it? I thought it was great. It was great. Did you think it was great? What about you? Did you think it was great? Well, yeah. Well, let's put them on the list. And so they dropped 50 and they wrote Pocatello, Idaho down. And then they said, all right, let's take a look at this again. And they looked at the communities, and they had a criteria that was unbelievable. They wanted to be a big fish in a small pond, but their small pond started with a population of about 250,000 people. That was their small pond. So automatically Pocatello was off the list. There's no way they could do that. Then they went through the list, they narrowed it down, and they cut it down to 25. Well, Pocatello wasn't on that list. And somebody said, hey, why isn't Pocatello there? Did you like Pocatello? Something about Pocatello. Yeah, let's take them, put them back on. So they crossed out 25, they wrote Pocatello down. And then they went and visited those communities again. We didn't know they were visiting those communities at the time. They were just visiting. And then they decided to narrow it down to 10. And they narrowed it down to 10. Guess who was left off the list? Pocatello. We were left off the list. And somebody said, wait a minute. What is it about Pocatello? And why do we keep thinking about it? Cross off 10 and put Pocatello there. And so they did that. And then, after Pocatello they did that, they went and they reached out to us and said, hey, we're looking, do you have any incentives? Do you have any opportunities? What's your employment base? And they just asked all these questions. They came out and visited with us. After they visited, they cut it down to 5. Pocatello was left off. The top 5.
Sounds like a habit.
It was a habit. And so what did they do? They went, wait a minute. Did you guys like Pocatello that second time? Yeah, we loved it, yeah. Well, why are they off of here? And they went through all the reasons why we were left off. Pocatello, well, there's population's not there. There's, it's not got an international airport with it. It doesn't have this. All these things with it. But then they decided, let's cross off 5 and add Pocatello. And so that's what they did. And then they narrowed it down to 3. And Pocatello was left off of it. It was unreal. They had the discussion, and they decided, you know what, let's put Pocatello on there again. And they came and visited, and they did all kinds of stuff. It was top secret. We couldn't say anything to anybody, and that was hard, because you want to say something. Look, just believe me, something's going to happen. I know what's going to happen. And we had Allstate's CEO and CFO and their real estate person and their operations person here. We had a dinner out at the country club there, and we sat down, we talked to them, and we had dinner and everything. And then I asked the we were just gonna go, and I said, you know what, can I ask the CEO, can I take you for a ride? He says, yeah, that's okay. And so we realized, because of the research we had done, that they were interested in clean air, clean water, access to forest lands, biking trails, hiking trails, the outdoor activities, which is something Pocatello is known for. In fact, we're one of the number one or two places in the country for outdoor sports and activities and stuff. And so I took him from the country club and I drove up a couple of roads and I said, I want you to time us. So he's like, okay, and we drove up to the end of the road and I said, see back there? Yeah, that's Forest Service land. You can get on there, there's trails all over up there. We got over 100 miles of trails right up in here. And then he said, okay, and then I said, keep timing us. And we drove down around and I drove over to another space and I ended up on City Creek. I said, how long did that take us? About 5 minutes. Okay, there's Forest Service right there. And there's trails all over the place here. I said, okay, now I want you to time us again. And this time I took him from City Creek, clear across town, up over and above the Highland Bench area, where you got Forest Service land again and all kinds of trails. How long did that take you? Well, it took 11 minutes. I said, so anywhere in the city of Pocatello, I want you to realize, anywhere you land in the city of Pocatello, within 10 minutes, your people can be hiking, biking, jogging, they can be fishing, they can be hunting, they can be doing just about anything they want outdoors. You'll see wildlife as you're walking up the trail 5 minutes outside of town. And I said, okay, now, if you don't believe me, time me as we go back to your hotel. So we left there and came back to the hotel, which is up above. They were staying, I believe they were staying at the Marriott, if I remember right. Up there, the Town and Suites of Town. Is that a Marriott? I think that's the Marriott. They're by Jaker's restaurant and stuff. We were staying up in there, and so he timed us from there over to there, and I said, what did it take? He said 7 minutes. I said, okay. See what I mean? He says, it's unbelievable. You have all these resources within 10 minutes of anywhere in the city of Pocatello. I said, one thing, the bad thing about Pocatello, let me tell you. The one bad thing that I know about Pocatello is we have rush minutes. What? What is rush minute? I said, right at 5 o'clock, for about 5 minutes, if you're on Yellowstone, you may have to sit through a light once. It's like, are you kidding me? No. This is an incredible place. And so they went back and they narrowed it down to 3. Well, what's the habit that they had? Pocatello was off the 3. And so they sat there and they said, wait a minute, what happened here? And where's Pocatello? Put Pocatello on, and they crossed them off. Crossed the number 3 of Pocatello when it was on there. And then they reached out and said, look, we're debating, we're weighing odds back and forth and everything. And I asked them, I said, why don't we come and visit? What if we just came out and visited? No, that's okay, don't worry about it. And I happened to be on a trip to Washington, D.C. with Mayor England and a county commissioner and our economic development expert and a couple of people, and we were walking down the street in Washington, D.C., and I said, you know what? No, this is ridiculous. You call them, because we were talking about Allstate, and okay, are they going to land or are they not going to land? What are we going to do? And she said, well, I don't know, it's a waiting game. I said, I'm tired of waiting. I'm not going to be moved off the list again. So, ask them if we can come and visit them. I said, no, don't ask them that. Tell them, give them 2 dates, that we would like to come and visit them in Chicago. 2 dates. And see what they say. And she said, that's a bad idea. It's a bad idea. I said, no, give them, find out. And so she sent an email right there as we're walking down the road, down the thing on her smartphone. And by the time we went about 4 blocks, she had to respond that this date will work. She went, I can't believe they said that they responded that quick, and they said, come on out. I said, they're coming to Pocatello. I can guarantee they're coming to Pocatello. Oh, no, you can't guarantee that. That doesn't work. And I said, well, let's watch. So we went to Chicago. We had that. And we had a great discussion with them, and then they asked us for something, and I said, no way we will do that. They wanted us to sign a no complete clause that we would not for the next 10 years call and try to get a new, another call center there, all of that stuff. I said, no, we're not going to do that. And everybody in the room panicked. They said, well, why wouldn't you do that? And I said, because when you come to Pocatello, you're part of our team. We expect you to recruit the next call center in Pocatello. We're not going to do that. You're going to do that if we got room for it. They went, okay, and we left, and we jumped on an airplane. Everybody was mad. You screwed it up, Mayor. You messed it up. It's not going to work. That's no good. So what happened? I said, wait, by the time we land in Salt Lake City, they will have a response that they're coming to Pocatello. You watch. No, not going to happen. It's over. All this work for nothing. We get off the plane in Salt Lake City, and our economic development person, Jenny Gilliam, she gets a buzz on her phone, and she looks at it, and she goes, she just stops. She's walking, just like this. And she goes, we're all looking back at her. What are you doing? She's looking. She looks up at me. She says, I can't believe it. They're coming to Pocatello. They just committed to Pocatello. I said, it's because Pocatello's got something to offer that nobody else has. And it's we are real people. That was our first big win. A Fortune 50 company making a decision to come to Pocatello, Idaho, opened a lot of people's eyes. What do they know that we don't? Well, since Allstate Insurance came, the FBI is a great partner that we have, that we have courted and decided. They had a location here. We knew that they needed to expand. It made sense to us. And so what did I do? I jumped on a plane, and I went out to the headquarters in D.C. What did green mean? 18. All right. Went to D.C. and asked them about it and stuff. Really long story short, what happened was they decided to expand their facility here to 350 people, spent $100 million here on their plant. They've got 350 people here. And then I said, you need the second expansion. And so what did they do? They said, why do we need that? I explained it to them again. They spent a second 100, that's what they're spending right now. Another $100 million is what they're spending there on that facility. They're on the third part of that now. When they finish that, there will be another 350 jobs. These jobs are people that are making $80,000 to $120,000 a year. That will help our community and do what we needed to do in a community. So now we had the FBI. We've got Great Western Malting that just spent $100 million, well, $86 million, doubling the size of their plant. 19, right? Doubling the size of their plant. Amy's Kitchen. We lost Heinz Foods. We lost Heinz Food. And I didn't worry at all. Why? Because we had a facility that was incredible. Within 4 months, we had Amy's Kitchen coming here. 1,000 employees is what they're going to put in that place. Heinz had 400. They have 727 right now at that facility. They will build it to 1,000, and then they will double the size of that plant. It's incredible what they're going to do for us here. Atco is another company that went, wait a minute, what's going on there? And Atco decided to locate here. So just among just those few companies, we've taken those 4,000 jobs I talked about, we've found them again, and we've got 4,000 people that have moved back to Pocatello. And right now we have an unemployment rate of 2.6%. Is what we have, 2.6%. We have 2,200 jobs, and we have about 800 people, unemployed people, to fill those 200 jobs, or 2,200 jobs. We have a good problem to have, but it's a problem nonetheless. Thank you very much. Thank you for allowing me to take a few minutes with you. This is a great time, and I had all kinds of stories, but thank you.